All right, so let's see what happens if we try to open up a Premiere project that was created in a newer version of Premiere than we have installed on our machine. So we get this message. This project was saved in a newer version of Adobe Premiere Pro and cannot be opened in this version. There is a way around that. Okay, so say you've got a project that you did in the latest version of Adobe Premiere. So we've got that right here. Or even say you are moving between Premiere on a PC and Premiere on a Mac. Sometimes the versions don't quite gel. And if you're opening an older version of the project and a newer version of Premiere, it's not that big of a deal. But if you try to open a newer version of the project than your computer is running, like say there was a 0.1 upgrade or something like that, then you're going to have a bad time. So what we can do is if we open up the new project, like say this is my home machine and the lab machine is 0.1 version behind and it's not happy with the project that I've saved, but I want to work in the lab on my project. Well, what you need to do is you open up your sequence, your main sequence here, and that's what we've got here. And we want to go File, Export, Final Cut Pro XML. Now I know what you're saying. We're not going to Final Cut Pro. We're going to another version of Premiere. I get that. But this is translating the project into a language that the older version of Premiere can understand. And this is actually going to save just the sequence. So that's one of the caveats that you have, and you'll see when we open it up on another machine in just a moment. The problem that we will have is that we're going to lose some of the stuff from this project. Everything that's on the timeline is going to be fine. It's going to be right where it is. What we're not going to see is we're not going to see the bins that we had created for this particular project. So if you're going to be moving between versions of Premiere back and forth, the best bet is to move from a lower version to a higher version. But if you absolutely must move from a higher version to a lower version, you're going to have to do your sequence or gather all of the clips that you plan to use in that sequence, and then you can do that Final Cut Pro XML like I did. So once we've gone and saved the XML in the newer version of the program, we're going to come in here. We're going to open up a new project. And I'm going to call this one New Rock Climber. And I want to make sure to save that to the same spot that I've got the other one, just so I'm carrying both versions on my drive. So let's see, that was on the phys end. Premiere demo. Okay, so I hit OK here. Got the workspace open. I go over into the project window, and I want to right click and import. And I'm going to bring in that Rock Climber sequence XML. It says, please check the translation results report for possible issues encountered during translation. Okay. That's cool. So if we look at the translation report, you'll see that it was mostly about audio gain in the main track, which we can go back in and we can fix. That's no big deal. So I can live with that. I'm going to close that. We look in the bin and you see that we've got the clips that were on our timeline. We've got our music. But we do not have all of the bins that we had on our original timeline. So let's open up our sequence. And you see that everything is in the order that it was in before. So we've got our whole thing. Now the only other thing you may want to check, and I've noticed this with the translation, I don't know why, but on the music, if you double click on that and you check your levels, on the music, the audio is down at nothing. So if we play it, there is nothing going on the music side. So we have to go back into the effect controls for the music. You see it's set to -infinity for some reason. I'll go ahead and set that to -12 just for starters. And when we play things back, we have music. So that's it. So if you want to move between two different versions of Premiere and you're moving down rather than up, you need to export a Final Cut Pro XML file, and all is right in the world. Thanks for watching.